remember that time we went to the beach and we had such a good time? You don't remember that? It was amazing. How can you not remember? Do dogs remember the past? Do they regret it? Do they make plans for the future? Or are they worried about what's going to happen? The answer to these questions is yes and no. It's complicated. Hi, I'm Shani on Let's Dog About It, a channel dedicated to explaining dog psychology, behavior, communication, and training. How do dogs perceive time? This question also answers a much bigger question. What is the major difference between us and dogs? Well, we spend most of our time in our heads traveling through time, reminiscing about the past, regretting it, longing to get back to it, and also fearing the future, waiting for it, planning it in an endless loop. Our dog is completely settled in the present moment. Our dog lives almost exclusively in the now. All they think about is what's in front of them and how it makes them feel. If it's not there, it doesn't exist. Wait, what? You mean the past is erased from the dog's mind? That sounds crazy. It doesn't. The past is there in the dog's mind, stored away for future reference. Dogs learn from every experience they have, and that information stays forever. Let's take a trip in the past and see how dogs' memories really work. The dog's memory works differently than our memory. The dog's memory is more associative, and it actually works in two different ways. First way is remembering the immediate past. The immediate past lingers on the dog's mind for as long as it takes him to connect to the present moment. When a dog is left in my hotel, he will keep thinking about the owners for a little while after they're gone. He will keep thinking about them until he gets to know the place and gets to know the dogs and connects to the moment. In the beginning, he might be upset and whine, but then he will start investigating and playing with the other dogs, and soon enough he will move on to his present experience. After that, he won't be thinking about the owners until they come back and take him home. The dog doesn't sit with himself remembering past experiences. He doesn't think about that cute dog that he played with at the park or that awesome leftover bone grandma brought when she came over last week. And he doesn't think about that awful man that abused him when he was a puppy. When will he think about these things? He will think about his friend when you go over to the park they played with together. He will think about that delicious bone when he's... When will he think about those things? He will think about his friend when you visit the park they played with together. He will think about the delicious bone when he sees grandma. He will think about that awful man when he sees someone that looks like him or smells like him. That leads me to the second way the dog's memories work. Through association. A memory will come up in the dog's mind when he picks up on something that reminds him of that experience. It could be a familiar sight, sound. It can be a familiar sight, sound, or smell that he picks up in his environment. He will react to what he perceives now according to what happened with it in the past. If he sees something that reminds him of a scary experience, he will get scared. If he sees something that was fun, it will make him happy and excited. In the words of the great Rafiki, the past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. This is the dog's motto about the past. The past exists for learning. It's the present where we actually live. Together with genetics, past experiences, especially in puppyhood, will determine how the dog feels about the world and his overall character and behavior. Our dog is basically a result of his past, even if he doesn't think about it. And what about the future? Should we travel there? For dogs, the distant future doesn't exist at all. They don't perceive it. They don't think about how much fun you're going to have tomorrow in the dog park. They don't worry about maybe one day you're going to leave them. And they don't imagine themselves on a beach in Thailand. If the dog learns that a while after you come home he goes for a walk, so a while after you come home he will get excited in anticipation for the near future. The dog learns that he gets food in certain times during the day. So he will expect that at those times. The immediate future that relates to routine does exist, but still, the dog lives almost only in the present. The past and the future can connect to the present moment and be part of his experience now. But most of his time, he's thinking about what's going on right now and nothing else. This small ability we have to freely travel through time in our minds is what makes all the difference between us and our dogs. In the present, there are no problems, only situations we need to deal with. Life is happening in the present, always. In the present moment, there is no shame, no guilt, no judgment, and no self-doubt. Dogs actually live in the way that we can only aspire to live. All the great gurus, all the meditations, all the mindfulness, they all talk about one thing, connecting to the present moment. In that way, our dogs are the real gurus. Dogs learn from experience, and then they put it in the past, coming back to it only when needed. This is also what keeps them eternal children. A child that will never grow, never get an education, and never live an independent life away from us. I wonder how you would rather live. The human way, full of regrets and worries, stressed to live a good life and constantly dreaming about what can be, or the dog's way, living completely in the present, never worry about the future, and never be independent. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm curious to know your thoughts. I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe and hit the bell to get future updates on new videos. I'm Shani, and I'll be here with you next week with a brand new video so we can keep on going on our journey inside Dog's mind. See you then. Bye.